Hey, look who's here. Hey, me Matt.
Hey, me Matt here.
Hey, me Matt here.
Hey, me Matt here.
Hey, me Matt here.
Hey, me Matt here. Hey, me Matt.
Alright, so this is not a surprise. I'm late to the party. I am always late to the party. But this is in fact AEW Fight or Flight, and better late than never. I just saw this today, and this was probably one of the best wrestling programs I've seen in I don't know how long. Well, besides Smash, but that's kind of. Well, it is what it is. You know, this is what professional wrestling is all about, and I keep saying that. You know, we saw Double or Nothing a while ago. There's another pay per view coming up shortly for AEW, but All Elite Wrestling is awesome. You know, and that's just the way it is. And this was awesome because there was backstage segments. You know, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks were trying to figure some things out, and yeah, this was pretty cool. They lost their gear, they did a documentary style thing. This was interesting, you know. I even had John Moxley do an interview backstage a la Shield, I guess. So we begin with the pre-show, of course. It was the Best Friends who defeated SoCal Uncensored, which I thought was interesting, and Private Party. So, yeah, you know, you would think that SoCal Uncensored, being the veterans, would win the match, but this was Scorpio Sky and Fakey Kazarian, and this was a good match. You know, can't really pinpoint the best moment for this one, but Best Friends won, and yeah, this was a really good start to the show. We also had the debut match of Aew, who was sitting in for a match at All or Nothing, and yeah, this was pretty cool as well. It was like, you know, one of the matches that was fun. Like, it was not just a good wrestling match, but it was entertaining. You have Levy Bates come out with Peter Avalon, and they're dressed as like librarians, and they're shushing for some reason. They're just doing that, and that was kind of like, yeah, weird. There was one point I thought that was very creative. Ali was going over to the ropes, and Avalon had a book, and he just nonchalantly trips her as she runs to the other side. So, obviously, Ali won this match, so that's good. I mean, it's pretty cool to have your debut wrestler, Ali. Well, I mean, and so did Levy, you know, so I mean, that was. Still, I think Ali definitely is probably the more popular, but I wouldn't. Like, she's popular of the two, I believe. I don't know too much about Levy Bates. Maybe I've seen a match or so, but this was a good match nonetheless. Then we have a hardcore match. Michael Nakazawa, who defeated Alex Jabali. This was a good match too, you know. It's kind of like Michael. I haven't seen Michael before. Actually, I haven't seen Barrett, but this was a good match, and I mean, Mike won, and yeah, there it is. We then go on to the main program for Fight or Flight, and of course, you know, they teased a setup for a band, and actually nobody played anybody to the ring, so that's kind of unfortunate. but there was a guy going to Kenny Omega and saying, "Oh, there's a band here called Blank 180 or something like that." I can't remember, but yeah, that was kind of funny. So then we got Christopher Daniels from SoCal and Cell versus SEMA, and again, this was pretty cool. I think that SEMA definitely is one of, or going to be one of the best wrestlers of all elite wrestling. Of course, Christopher Daniels, a legend as well. He had basically pulled out all the stops, and of course, SEMA won. They shook hands. This was a pretty good match as well. And I know I'm running through these matches, but it's better than me just fucking guessing, I guess. Even though I've just seen it. But it's still fresh in my mind only because I saw the highlights as well just now. So we have a women's match. Got Aew, who defeated Yuki, Sakazuki, and Nyla Rose. Now, Aew and Yuki teamed up for a while to try to defeat Nyla Rose, and of course, this was pretty entertaining to see that Nyla doing the double camel clutch to both wrestlers. You know, both wrestlers. I think it was a double suplex to Nia, but it wasn't, without them turning on each other. I mean, after all, this was a three-way match. So, yeah, Aew won and basically shoved down Yuki. And, yeah, Yuki was pretty upset about it, but this was a good match all around, and I think that it was a surprise. You would think Nia would have won the match, but we'll see what happens in the future. We then go to a fatal four-way. We've got Adam Page, who defeated Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus, and MJP. Now, if you watch Chris Van Vliet's videos, you saw the interviews with Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, which I just saw yesterday, and of course MJP. Now, this is true. Luchasaurus walking with Jungle Boy on his shoulders to the ring, very cool, But this was a really good match, and I think that hearing MJP and his whole attitude towards the audience, and yeah, you live in your mom's basement, and yeah, she swallows, and that kind of shit. That was really cool. So this match was good. Adam Page definitely one of the greatest wrestlers of Ring of Honor. He was a part of the Bullet Club. You got Jungle Boy, who at one point did a dive out of the ring onto all three competitors, and even Luchasaurus kind of got involved. But this was a good match. Adam Page won, like I said, and he is going to face Chris Jericho for the title in the next pay-per-view. So then we have one of the matches of the night: Cody versus Darby Allin. And it's kind of cool, to see these two guys. Darby has the one face painted up like a skull, and this was actually really cool, There is a lot of really good moves. Both men did a very good job, and so Cody's on the apron, and Darby gets up on the top rope, and he does an elbow, and fucking lands on the edge of the ring, the hard part of the ring. and you could see the line on his lower back, and it was like, oh wow, that's crazy. So yeah, Cody Rhodes did the disaster kick on Darby when he put Darby in the body bag. And Darby brought out a body bag, I don't know why, but he did that. He took Darby out. Eventually, he did the crossroads and had the win. Now, the part I didn't see was Shawn Spears came out with a chair and he hit Cody in the back of the head, which you don't see too many headshots anymore, but yeah, Cody bled like a faucet, and I'm not quite sure if this was a blade job. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, this one's interesting. We're gonna see Shawn Spears versus Cody in the future. But I think that's pretty cool. So then we have the Elite versus the Lucha Brothers, and I'm not sure if this guy was in the crowd or not, but he came out when the Young Bucks were in the aisleway, and then he came out and he did this, and the lights came off, and then the lights came back on, and there's Kenny Omega, and I guess they were dressed up as Hamatero, or I can't remember what anime it was, but a game, I guess. But anyways, they get in the ring, they have Justin Roberts say, alright, and fight. They could tell how much I love video games now, but... And this was a good match. You had both Nick and Laredo Kid do a tope suicida. You had the super kick parties all around. You had a lot of really good... You had, at one point, a sharpshooter. And... yeah, so this was pretty cool. Of course, the Elite won when Kenny Omega pinned, I believe it was Laredo Kid. So that was pretty cool. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, this was a good match as well. And now you have the second match of the night. And, this is what I miss in my professional wrestling. This is what I miss, because I'm the kind of guy that loves traditional wrestling, but I love no holds barred, just balls out wrestling. No holds barred, unsanctioned wrestling. And this is what this was. You had chairs, you had buttons, I'm not even sure what those were. You know, you had a fucking barbed wire wrapped chair that they used. And, there was a point where you had Moxley sitting on a chair. He gets up and Janela just fucking dives onto the chair. You had thumbtacks. This is what a hardcore match, whatever you want to call it, should have been at WrestleMania. My triple duck blaster! You had a DDT from Moxley. That was awesome. It was a great match. This wasn't just a good match. So yeah, Johnny Moxley won. And I can't wait to see where this goes. You know, it was kind of like one of those things where it'll be interesting to see what happens, you know. But I can't wait to see what happens in this next pay-per-view. But anyways, yeah, there it is. AEW is the best wrestling promotion as of right now. And I know WWE is getting 14 plus. I guess we'll talk about that at some point. Not Wheels of Fury, but there it is. Anyways, talk to you later. Bye.